and that is why we are out of place.
Great game last night.
Yeah, it was fun.
Who are you rooting for?
The Tigers.
Same, they're both the Tigers.
Right.
But which one?
The Tigers. Like, go Tigers.
When you say go Tigers, you mean G-O Tigers or G-E-A-U-X Tigers?
The Tigers, like T-I-G-E-R-S.
No, Clemson or LSU?
Tigers.
Double Swinney?
Well, Coach O, these boys gave us everything out there today. Joe Burrow, what can you say about a Heisman Trophy winner? And then Dave Aranda's defense, so incredible, stopping the run. We had gumbo, we had Raising Cane's. Go Tigers!
I don't have time for this. Who hired this guy?
Great game last night, huh? You see that?
No.
Hey everyone, welcome on into Call It a Night, the sports show that still hasn't taken down their Christmas tree. I took down the ornaments, but the tree is still there. I'm your host, Julie Stewart-Binks, and we hope you guys enjoyed an awesome national championship game. Someone called PETA with all that tiger-on-tiger crime. I'm excited to kickstart this week alongside comedian, actor, writer, musician, Dave Hill. Dave, you talk about so many things. You've had a job literally everywhere. You have had everyone's job in the entire world. And now you are an author of the book, Parking the Moose, about your travels across Canada. We're gonna get into it later on in the show more so. But you've been infatuated with Canada and it's continued. How come Canada's the greatest country in the world?
Well, I'm not sure I would say that. I mean,
okay. Set you up there.
But no, I mean, I don't want to. No one's the greatest. But the whole thing is, you know, my grandfather was from Clinton, Ontario, and growing up in America, as you probably heard, being Canadian, like we're always told that we're the greatest.
Oh yes,
and
I hear that all the time.
But my grandfather, like every Sunday dinner, would be like, actually, Canada's the greatest. Like whatever the thing was. You know, would be like, oh, these donuts are really good. He's like, you gotta have Canada donuts. You know? And whatever the thing was. So I grew up thinking like, oh, Canada is the most amazing place in the world. And I'd only, I had been there like a handful of times. And then finally I conned a publisher into giving me some money to travel.
It's amazing.
Everywhere in Canada. And the book is my findings on your country.
Those foreigners are a crazy bunch. All right, we're going to discuss more about Dave's new book in a second, how comedy has changed throughout his career, and we're going to see who has the edge in our heavy metal music bracket. But first, let's dive into tonight's headlines. The LSU Tigers defeated the Clemson Tigers in the national championship game in New Orleans. After the game, the city exploded into a frenzy of people dancing in the street, setting off fireworks in restaurants, and getting absolutely hammered. So in other words, uneventful. Just Monday in New Orleans. Crazy, Cajun people. Heading into the national championship game, the Clemson Tigers were forced to practice in their hotel ballroom Sunday because of weather issues. The practice was cut off early to set up for Noah's bar mitzvah. Because that's what happens, hotel ballrooms. Or odd conferences for medical
sometimes
supply
you have to
people.
Ask the football team to stop practicing in the hotel.
Yeah, they've practiced enough.
Yeah. It's game time.
Yeah,
I find a lot of practicing is mental anyway.
Right.
They say you get just as good at free throws in basketball if you think about being really good at them.
Right.
I'm great at them. Never taken one shot in my life.
Well, you know it. That's like a
nail every one.
In Boy Meets World when he listens to how to figure skate and then is like Christy Yamaguchi.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Know,
think
right?
about it.
Just think about it.
That's why I'm really good at football too.
Yeah, can't wait to play later. Houston Astros manager A.J. Hinch has been fired after using video technology to cheat. He responded by saying, next time, I'll just do it the old-fashioned way, steroids. And there's lots of cheating. It's very serious in baseball right now.
I'm enraged.
Stealing signs. Alex Cora's probably gonna get hit too with a ton of bans. And you know what? This is something though it's not new. It's happened for years.
No, but I'm totally a fan of cheating, don't get me wrong. I just like the old-fashioned cheating where you just kind of look and you be like, I think it's a curveball.
Yeah.
And then you like give like, this is my curveball sign that I give it. No one knows what I've just done. But when you get cameras and all that, frowned
It's a
upon.
bit more complicated. Well, what they say, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right?
That's exactly right.
All right, well, speaking of fashion, Tony Romo reportedly will receive an offer from ESPN that would make him the highest paid sportscaster in history. The deal is right in his wheelhouse, as he would be the highly paid leader of a major franchise and never have to worry about working on Super Bowl Sunday. Because the Cowboys suck. And this is an interesting idea now that we pay so many people, in sports broadcasting, to make $14 million a year if this ends up happening, which is, someone was saying, I'm not doing math on this show, but it's like $3.5 million a weekend or something.
It's not bad.
Is that worth it?
It seems like it would be worth it for him.
Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't do it, I'll do it. I mean, I think I have demonstrated in the last few minutes my sports mind is, I'm on another plane.
Well, I mean, like you're talking sources, insight, knowledge.
And I probably shouldn't be saying this out loud. I would do it for $600. $600 a game, in and out, 4 hours, all you can eat.
Well, people would like it. People would like that. It'd be interesting.
I'm telling you.
That's the headlines, guys. Print it.
I'm also good at
Yes, that would be good. All right, I love doing jokes beside a professional comedian, but I look forward to an American explaining Canada to a Canadian. That and more next.
I'm Brian from the band Guster, and I had to call it a night.
Welcome back to Call It a Night. We're joined by comedian, actor, writer, musician Dave Hill. He's been on so many shows, from The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt to Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, starred in the movie Boy Band. You've had your own TV series, multiple podcasts, Norwegian metal bands, Valley Lodge. You've written many books. You now have your third book, Parking the Moose. And just looking at your career, we're just mentioning the commercial break, like, you've had so many different projects, but many of them have kind of like intertwined between one another. How have you been successful at doing so many things and being able to complete them?
I'm super distracted, and basically, anytime if someone suggests something to me that's exciting, I'm like, yeah, let's go do it. like the Canada book. Like
right.
Penguin asked if I wanted to write a book that had something to do with Canada. I was like, yeah, my grandfather's from there. Why don't you give me money and I'll travel around Canada? Like, okay.
That's awesome.
And it was just an excuse to make it to Regina, Saskatchewan.
Everyone's trying to get there.
Moose Jaw and all the beautiful towns in
Like,
Fairland.
So you went out all over these places, and as a Canadian, I'm curious, as an American, like, what were your biggest takeaways from your book and doing all that?
Well, I think, I know it's a cliche, but, well, first of all, everyone says how Canadians are so polite and saying sorry or sorry.
Yeah, sorry, yes.
All the time, but can we swear on this show?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, well, that's bullshit, basically, because I know, I'm sorry. Kids, leave the room, but sorry, I think, is in Canada just like a human car horn. It can mean so many different things. It can mean sorry, but it can also mean go f yourself.
Oh.
Like
So
you
a
can
little
hear
passive aggressiveness too.
Yeah, and like you could run right into someone and then they would say sorry to you.
I always do that here in New York.
Yeah.
I'm like Buddy the Elf walking down the street.
Yeah, but you're not. But
you're not really sorry.
No. But there is, like, I think, like, I remember being in Victoria, British Columbia with my girlfriend. We're walking down the street. We overheard these guys just having a conversation. She's like, there's something about the guys in Canada don't seem like they're dicks, like in America. I think in America, maybe I'm getting like thinking about too much, but I think because of the American Revolution, there's like something deep in the American psyche where we always think someone's trying to mess with us.
Yes.
And in Canada, I don't think that's in everyone's head. So as a result, There's plenty of jerks in Canada. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
Oh yeah, I know.
But but I think
am
like,
one of them, huh?
The default setting is maybe like a little more.
Yeah, like you expect the good in someone versus here you're like, wait a second, like what are you doing?
Oh yeah,
Right?
like I bought a moose, a little. It was about a cat-sized moose in Clinton, Ontario. And they wouldn't sell it to me because it was part of a window display. And it was going to be part of the window display for 3 more days. Even though I was leaving that day, they refused to sell it. So I was like, can you mail it to me? They're like, no. And they're like, well, call us back. So I got them to mail it, and they're like, email us your address. And they write back, they're like, okay, it's on its way. Just send us a check for $50 when you get a chance. And I was just like, no one in America would ever sell a moose or anything to anyone without getting the money first.
Yeah.
Like just mailing it's
like-
a great moose too.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's the nice Canadian thing I was hoping that you'd say.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then I want to get to a lot of things. We don't have a whole lot of time. You're also a hockey player, and I'm a hockey player too. So maybe I play against old guys. You play
I'm an
against
old
old
guy.
guys, no.
Yeah.
But you're like a Canadian in America.
I people, even before this book and me talking about Canada all the time, people have often thought I was Canadian for no good reason. I guess.
I mean, you talk about it. You wrote a book about it.
No, even before that.
Okay.
Back when I was just a
I
regular
can
guy,
see.
not bringing
you
up
give off
Canada
that,
all
like,
that
Canadian
much.
vibe.
Yeah. But
All right, would you move there?
some places, I would. I love. I mean, most of this is one thing I didn't know is the majority of the population lives in Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver.
'Cause there's-
Coincidentally, I would live in those 3 cities.
Yes.
I would live in Quebec City.
No.
Part time.
Nah,
A
you're
few
not.
weeks out of the year. A couple
Eh.
weekend.
It's not that friendly. I'm gonna go on the record.
But
there.
those 3.
But maybe
Calgary's
Regina, we
pretty
said.
good.
We're big fans of Regina on this
Oh,
show. We're
Regina.
big Regina show.
Huge.
You're a big Regina guy.
Beautiful this time of year. Regina.
I think it's fun all the time here.
I might do a summer share. We should do a summer share. in
Okay, yeah.
Regina.
Well, you and I will go to Regina in the summer.
Can't have fun
What's going on this show?
you don't have fun in Regina.
No.
You don't have fun anywhere.
No,
That's what I say.
we don't. Okay, we're just getting started. When we return, we're gonna be rocking and rolling. We find out who the GOAT of heavy metal is. Stay tuned. Welcome back, kiddies, on JSB. We got Dave Hill, musician, actor, writer, everything. And we know that you are very passionate about music and that you have your own band, Valley Lodge, and you're very big into heavy metal. We're a big sports show. We love winners. We want to officially find out the GOAT of heavy metal. So prepare for the Metal League playoffs.
I like that.
All right, what a
Low budget
delightful
when
graphic. We have pinned the best all-time heavy metal bands against one another. The seedings were decided by the 6 jabronis I work with in a WeWork last week, but the champion will be decided by Mr. Dave Hill. All right, let's get to our first matchup here. We've got Motorhead, a #1 seed, taking on #4 seed Judas Priest. Who has the edge in this one?
This one was a really hard one because Judas Priest you can't get much more metal than that.
Yeah.
But Motorhead, I mean, you have Lemmy, who's, where do you start? I just think, like, when you hear Motorhead, this is how I decide. When you hear Motorhead, you go like, well, why should I listen to any other kind of music? And I feel like I don't quite do that. I love Judas Priest. I've seen them many times. But Motorhead, you just be like, I just gave. And I don't even think Lemmy, he didn't even call them a metal band. He just said they were a rock and roll band.
Right.
So that was also tricky.
But kind of one of the first, Ace of Spades, such a hit, even though
Oh my
Judas
gosh.
Priest, you got another thing.
And the
coming.
album cover, Ace of Spades, they're like looks like they're in the desert of Mexico, but they're like in like somewhere in England on a weirdly sunny day.
All right, so you mentioned Lemmy. You like to gamble. Is he your man?
If you like to gamble, he'll show me how to lose.
All right, looks like we got Motorhead in that matchup. number 2 in this is, we got Slayer taking on a low seed in Metallica.
This
Thoughts?
one was also really hard because, you know, Slayer, I know everyone's like, Slayer, and you carve Slayer. No one really carves Metallica into their arm, no offense.
I'm sure there's some people in
But in Slayer, it's so tricky. And I know it's not a very cool thing to say, but I just tend to, the first 3 Metallica albums, if I'm putting on music, I gravitate towards that more. And I know that's like, maybe that's a very not metal thing to say, but Slayer loses points because they had a spandex phase early on, which Metallica didn't. So that's why they eventually got kicked
I
to
would
the
have said that was
curb.
a plus, but again, I'm not deciding this.
I like pro spandex in certain situations.
Yeah, depends. So Metallica
Plus,
in
they
this
got rid
one?
of Dave Lombardo in the
Right.
end, so you're done, boys.
Okay, so we have Metallica in that one. Some people would push back, including our editor Jason, who helped us construct this, because that's like, I guess, like against metal. But they are very big. And so, but we got to move on the other side. We got Black Sabbath, a number 1 seed, versus number 4 seed, War.
Oh, this is no, I mean, I love Guar. Again, I've seen them many times, but Black Sabbath, I mean, come on.
Black Sabbath, no
not
brainer.
even fair.
Knocks off Guar, which I just saw them and I was like, wow, this is like Scientology meets like drugs and whatever.
Yeah, it's
Normally
amazing.
it would be right up my alley, but no. Okay, Iron Maiden, we got number 2 seed versus number 3 seed, Megadeth.
You should have put Iron Maiden up against a metal band.
Oh.
I didn't come here to be a bitch today. But no, Megadeth, I don't know, his first couple records, and this is very, not to get all Guitar Center on everybody, but just guitar tone alone, disqualified. Worst guitar tone out there in metal, I think. And this is, you know, I just edit that out, but that's,
No,
you
no,
know.
oh, we're gonna tag those.
Plus, I don't have
guys.
anything against them,
They just suck.
but I don't like them.
Yeah. Hey, man, you got Bruce Dickinson. He's, jumping on speakers after coming off a cancer treatment, run to the hills.
Yeah, and now, you know, Dave Mustaine, also cancer. I mean, not I don't mean to talk shit
All right,
about
cancer versus
cancerous vocalists.
Yeah.
We have a tie. But also Maiden, bigger than ever after all these years. And I mean, who else can say that, really, aside from Metallica, Slayer?
Yeah. All right, and speaking of those, we got to move on to the final 4 of this. And let's see what we got. We got Motorhead taking on Metallica. This is tough. History versus sellouts, or just awesome songs? Sad but true. Yes or no?
I mean, I go Motorhead, of course. But I mean, Metallica, this thing, the first few records are great, but the thing is now, you can't make angry metal music and have an incredible investment portfolio. You just can't, you can't have millions of dollars and make truly great metal. Can't be. You can have
I mean, it's America. I don't even know what we're
You can
doing
have a
today.
few $1 million, but not tens of millions.
Okay.
Plus, the guitar tone has gone downhill. I'm done.
And
No,
so-
you gotta go Motorhead. Lemmy lived in a 2-bedroom apartment until the end. That's why they were always awesome.
Yeah, and James Hetfield's addicted to chocolate, I found out.
Who isn't?
Who isn't? Okay, one last spot up for grabs. Impossible choice: Black Sabbath or Iron Maiden.
Well, you gotta go Black Sabbath. I mean, they invented metal with the Devil's Interval, the flatted fifth. I'm gonna get so many chicks with my music theory. With the.
Yeah, just keep doing that.
I know that was, but no, you gotta go Black Sabbath.
Yeah, especially
Without question.
Ozzy potentially, ripping the head off the bat.
Yeah, but
pretty
that
badass.
was after he left the band, not to get.
Oh,
nitpicky.
okay, all right.
Plus, not to take shots at Ozzy, but I mean, he didn't write the lyrics. That's Geezer Butler.
Okay, so
And
a
the
couple
riffs,
knocks
Tony-
against this number 1.
Ozzy Osbourne, I mean, he didn't do the heavy lifting in that band, and he
Okay.
completely destroyed
Yeah,
the
he
mythology
did.
by doing all that reality television. It's like you're not the Prince of Darkness when you're walking like a toy dog down some street in LA.
Very fair point.
All
Think
the
you
other
could-
guys stayed in England.
Right, where it's like way more
Rainy,
legit heavy metal.
Dark,
angry. Okay, well, it looks like that's kind of a knock against Black Sabbath when we head into
Just
the
the singer. I mean, because you have
championship
we didn't even get into the
round.
Dio era of Black Sabbath. Can I come back for another
okay.
show?
Potentially, yes. Well, we got Motorhead taking on Black Sabbath. Depends on how you want to describe them. We've got different eras. We got Lemmy, we got Tony, we got Geezer, we got Ozzy, Dio. Who's the winner?
I mean, this is the strength of Black Sabbath shown through because without even thinking about it ahead of time, Black Sabbath won, no matter what. Like you can't.
You're just like, yeah.
It's foolproof.
That's
They're
winner.
just gonna win. There's no way a scenario you could put them anywhere. They're gonna win no matter what. But imagine that if they would have toured together. Maybe they did. I don't know.
They probably did.
But oh man, that'd be pretty sweet.
Okay, so there you have it. We have the winner of this. It's Black Sabbath. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that. That's classic.
The first 6 records, and I would even go 7 and 8 if you want to get nuts.
Yeah, even though we did just talk a lot of shit about Ozzy Osbourne there, he's still.
He was great at
still one of the
singing. I'm
gods,
just
yes.
saying, if you want the true evil,
hurt
you
himself
gotta
by it.
look at Tony
Yeah.
and Geezer.
And I just
Bill
want to
Ward.
I just want to shout out before thank you to my mom Julie Binks, who has been to Slayer and Megadeth and Metallica, and for helping me know more and look cool, because that's where you got to go.
Your mom. The real headline is your mom's name is Julie Binks.
Yes.
She should be the singer in a metal band. Like
I know. Oh man, you just.
Julie Binks.
She is gonna absolutely love you.
Get in
Okay,
touch.
well, it's not too late. That's it. Thank you so much, Dave. Black Sabbath, champions of the heavy metal world. That was Metal League Playoffs. We are rocking and rolling literally on Call It a Night, but still plenty more to come with comedian, actor, writer, musician. Take care. All right, we're cruising along here on Call It a Night, but before we do just that, make sure you follow us for exclusive content like more laughs with Dave Hill at Fubo Sports on Twitter, and you can also find full episodes of all the Fubo Sports Network shows for a limited time only if you subscribe to our Fubo Sports YouTube channel. And of course, don't forget you can stream us free 24/7 at fubosportsnetwork.com. Dave, thank you so much for joining us here today and
for having
crowning
me.
Black Sabbath the champion. Where can everyone...
Finally things are
Yeah,
going
finally. We made that clear. Where can people find you next?
I'm going to be January 28th at Word Bookstore in Brooklyn with Malcolm Gladwell.
Awesome.
Talking about a fellow Canadian.
Yeah.
Talking about my Parking the Moose book. And then I'm going to be at Sketchfest this weekend in San Francisco. This Thursday, the 16th, I'll be at the NAMM Guitar Gear Convention.
Cool.
I'll be at 5 p.m. at the Earthquaker Devices booth, showing people how not to use their pedals.
I feel like you have like 5 different careers, and it's like, okay, so each,
I'm
day.
desperate for attention. If anyone's like, we'll pay attention to you, and here's
I love that,
money and attention.
Hey, that's what
I
makes
should
the
have been a
world go
stripper.
round. You still can. Okay, Parking the Moose. Make sure you check that out. That's Dave Hill's book. And you can find us here, same place, same time, when we have UFC fighter Caitlin Chukagian on the show. Until then, however you may be calling your night, make sure it is a good one.